Lore time returns. New dangers. First quester here. And the Wanderer appears. Welcome back to Cosmic Respawn Gaming. This is episode 5 of our Moonlighter series, and today we're diving back into the forest dungeon to see what all we can find. If you're new here, the playlist is in the corner. Keep in mind you're going to start with my first ever episode, so bear with me and my inexperience at the time. Thank you. It's time for our first dive. What does this weird green goo do? It appears to damage me. The slime slowed us down. It seems like every third hit I block, I get pushed back. We have yet to discover the perpetrator, who as of a year ago, destroyed several of our experiments. Now much of our research materials are disappearing on a daily basis. The Mavu tree? I'm fighting a tree? What do you think? Are these roots? I went back to finish off the floor. The enemies in this forest enjoy poisoning their victims. It will be a slow death to any who come in contact with these toxins. You don't say. Patterns. Oh yes, these dungeons do indeed have patterns. You may think they are random. You may even think they are chaotic. But no. No, they are actually quite the opposite. There is reason and repetition. Some sort of divine guide? A template of sorts followed every time the dungeon rebuilds itself. For instance, we all know there are 3 floors to a dungeon. But have you noticed how this healing hot spring appears on every floor? And how it always appears on the path towards the next? Placed not only to assist and heal, but also guide. These dungeons basically want you to find their treasure. This floor is ridiculous. There's so much poison everywhere. I think this poison on the ground has lingering effects. That was my last potion. I'll use my bow. Here's my dilemma. I think I've seen this poison only hit for 5 damage. So do I risk it and go back for the hot springs or portal home? I'm gonna go for it. Oh no. Wait, the Phoenix Ring. I forgot. Well, let's continue then. That's definitely a mimic. I didn't know enemies could push them around. Yes, some potions. Serious inventory problem. I would go into that other dungeon room, but I need to go back to the store after this room. Just a repeat note about the poison. Here's the dungeon summary. We got a new egg. I did the normal things of storing and restocking, but I decided to put the Wanderer amulet on. I wanted to figure out what happens when the Wanderer appears. We got our first quest to slay 10 cedars, and since they seem common, I'll try it. We also got a quest for 5 modified seeds, and I've got some on sale right now, so I'll grab them and throw them in storage. Here's the sales summary. We made 61,000 gold. I went and bought enough potions to have a full stack equipped, but I'm also going to take a whole stack to restock what I use. I started looking around the menu and discovered the calendar, so I know when the quests are due. We'll be looking for some cedar enemies and modified seeds for our quests. A little free loot from a secret room. Absolutely destroyed this mimic. After defeating this version of the tree, I went back to clear more of the dungeon looking for the quest objectives. I'm not sure why these mushrooms give me such a problem. Well, it turns out we didn't find any modified seeds or cedar enemies in this run. And you'll see why in just a bit. Another lore book incoming. More patterns and secrets. For those diving so far as the 3rd floor, have you ever felt overburdened? Carrying just too much loot, too much treasure? But you don't want to stop, just can't stop. Then have I got something for you. Hidden somewhere on the 3rd floor between where you start and where you end. The end being the massive creature at the bottom of the dungeon. Meaning the dungeon's end is more likely your end. But between those two spots, one may notice a sparkle, a glimmer of something just beyond a pit in the infinite darkness. If you're brave, I ask that you give it a jump. See what's down there. It seems to be talking about secret rooms we've already been finding. Also, I've jumped ahead to floor 2 since that was the final room on the floor. Wait, what's happening? What is that? It destroyed the chest. Can I not hurt this thing? I want that spear from the bush. I've got to see if this thing can be slayed. Wait, what? It one-shot me. And I couldn't hurt it? And I lost all that loot. Oh no. The Wanderer. It was the Wanderer, wasn't it? Lost all that loot. That ring is getting put in storage for now. I put up what was left and stored the ring. Well, I'll end this episode here. Tune in next episode to see how we recover and if we can get these quests done in time. If you enjoyed, hit the like and subscribe for future content. Any feedback or questions, I'll be down in the comments. Let's discuss. And remember, every respawn is an epic quest.